Hi, my name is Bobby, and today we're going to talk about preparing to be a new dad, specifically before the baby arrives. In this video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 things that I have done to prepare and continue to do prior to the baby arriving. As of today, we are about 29 weeks in, so we're not too far off, the D-Day of the baby arriving. With that said, let's jump straight to it. So number 1 was research. Research is really important, in my opinion anyway. As soon as I found out I was going to be a dad, the first thing I started to do was talking to people. People who have been through the journey before. So I'm the last of 4 boys, as an example. So I was talking to all the siblings about it, talking to friends who have gone through the same journey as well, just trying to figure out what am I supposed to prepare, what am I going to expect on this journey that we're about to go on. One of the things I actually really looked at as well is the different stages of pregnancy as well. So what should you expect as well, especially for those of you who live with your partners? What are you going to expect, during the pregnancy journey? So, is it a mood swing? Is it, the super senses that your partner suddenly gets? All these things. It's just preparing yourself so that you're not so much in shock when it actually happens. Research should also look into parts around essential list that you need to buy. That will also help you really put together a certain budget of the things you're going to buy. There's a whole lot of essential lists out there. So you got some on YouTube, some on Google somewhere. There's a whole lot of it out there as well. So make sure you look out there, find what suits you best. Some of them are quite luxurious, whereas others are fairly basic. So, but between all the research out there, you might find a balance. Matter of fact, I might actually do a video just on that to show you some of the things I have bought as well. If you have a pet, it's probably a good time to also look at how you can introduce your new baby to your pet. So I have a cat, a very antisocial one for that matter, and I've been looking at ways to introduce a new baby to a cat. So whatever you're getting smart devices to start playing baby crying noises, to get extra baby smells around the house so it gets used to it, so the baby oils and stuff, just so the cat can start getting used to it. There's a whole lot of things you can do to help prepare your own pet to come to terms with the changes that are about to happen. I'm a massive smart home buff, and I have smart devices all around the place, the lights, the heaters, the doors, everything. So once again, what I've been able to do is really look into my research part of how I can incorporate my smart home when a new baby arrives. So for example, on your Amazon devices, recognize I didn't mention the name, there's a whole lot of skills that you can use to help you as well. So things like Shush My Baby is out there. There's some really good ones around storytelling. If you have Philips Hue like I do, you have other things around nursing, being able to give that sunlight, sunrise lighting scenarios. All of those things really do come in handy. So hopefully I might actually provide a video on just the smart home aspect of preparing to be a parent, or the smart home aspect of the best skills that are out there once your baby arrives. So that's number 1, and that's your research. But absolutely at top of that for me, just talking to people, and not just the one time, continuously to do this. Because the more you speak to people, the more you open up, the more they can give it to you straight. Most importantly, the more they can be honest with you on what you should be looking forward to. Because I've heard some stories. Some were really good, some were scary, but the more you can get yourself prepared for this, mentally prepare yourself as well, you'll be alright. I'm hoping to be alright when the time comes. So that's number 1. Number 2 is finance and money and anything around that subject. Everyone actually tells you how expensive it is becoming a new parent. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, NatWest Bank in the UK did a research that said on average in Britain, you will spend an average of about 9,500 in the first year of life, when your baby arrives. So you certainly want to try your best to prepare yourself as much as possible. From a money finance perspective, there are 3 things that I have focused on. So The three things are these. Number one is your budgeting and your saving. From my perspective, what I've been trying to do is try and save at least 10% of your monthly wage if you can. You can save however little, 5 to, as long as you're saving, you are doing something. But it will go a long way to help prepare you for all the other expenses that are about to happen, right? Other thing I've been trying to do as well is, even if I don't save that 10%, I will spend that 10%. By that, what I mean is I'm trying to start buying early as well and preparing myself for that. And that's where the research really comes in handy. Because if you've researched your essential list, then you can begin to actually buy them early. Which means by the time your baby arrives, you pretty much have everything sorted out. So as an example, we are at, as I mentioned, 28 weeks. But I bought my prom today because I had that in my list. I knew exactly which one I wanted to get because I had done the research. So a deal came through, I saw it on the website, it was a really good deal, jumped at it straight away. And I could do that because since we found out, I've been doing that little savings here and there. So every month, if you can put some money together, it really will go a long way to help you out. Another aspect in terms of the staggered buying, which I've been doing, is eBay is your friend. And that's where I end at. So definitely look at stuff. Go to the shops. There are many, baby shops that do what you call baby events, where people come through, they'll walk you through some of the equipment that are there, the buggies, the baby bath, all that. Definitely get yourself involved in that. Go see what is out there, test it out if you can. If you have other people that have been through that journey before, let them tell you what some of those items can do and can't do. And that's where your research will also come through as well, because you'll be able to just get away from the BS and actually focus on the real essential stuff. So from a money perspective, saving and budgeting is really important. And the more you can buy early, the better it would save you for future things as well. So that's number one on the money side, and that's saving and budgeting. Number two, from the money side, is your paternity pay. So if you work in the UK, you are entitled to paternity pay if you've been working continuously at least 26 weeks with this employer. So check if you're entitled to paternity pay. Make sure you speak to your HR rep or your HR to try and figure out how much you're going to get as well. Some companies are actually really good, and they will pay you above what the government statutory rate is. The statutory rate in Britain is just short of £150. So you want to make sure that, one, you know what it is. Two, is it going to be sufficient for you? And three, does your company offer anything on top of that? As an example, my company that I work for, you get a little bump on top of what you get from the government. That really will go a long way to help you out, especially when you go on paternity leave. So your paternity pay, you really want to get to know about that as well. Number three, from the money perspective, is more from the future point of view. By this, what I mean is things around a will. If you don't have a will, you might want to start drafting one aside somewhere. There's a lot of resources online that you can use. If you actually know any good solicitors, you can have a word with them and see what is out there. But from a very basic one, you can pop one online for about £15, and it will give you everything that you need. The other side from this as well has to do with life insurance. So if you don't have life insurance, definitely look into getting that, especially if you're about to become a parent. The post office actually have one fantastic insurance in place where it gives you a year free and it covers up to 15k. So it's really good from a new parent point of view. It's a good introductory offer. I'll try and put the link in the video description so you can go check it out for yourself if you're based in the UK. So having a will, looking into life insurance, I would absolutely advise that. Number three, from that future point of view, is trust funds and setting up something for your baby for the future and getting yourself prepared to get into that habit. Actually, between 2002 and 2011, the UK government used to give you a £250 voucher for you to hit the ground running for your baby and get a trust fund for them. Unfortunately, of course, that scheme has now ended, but it goes without saying it's a really good practice to have. Personally, I feel very strongly about this because I know it's one that I would have loved if my own parents had done that for me. So it's something I'm definitely looking forward to doing for my kids and future kids. So trust funds, or a junior ISA or something that can set them up for the future is really important, at least from my perspective. I've had a look, I've seen a lot of options out there. Perhaps I might actually even do a separate video just on that to give you guys options of what you can find out there. But trust funds, spot on important, at least in my opinion anyway. So that's that really from the money perspective. So you had your saving and budgeting, you had looking into paternity pay, are you entitled, do you know how much you're going to get, and then from the future perspective, looking at your will, your life insurance, and looking at setting some kind of ISA or trust fund for your baby and looking at the options that are out there. So far we've covered two. We had research and we had money. Number three, that's four. Number three has to do with leave, specifically paternity leave, shared leave, parental leave. Now, if you qualify by your company standard, and this should also fall into the working 26 weeks continuous, because that's the legal requirement in the UK. If you qualify for this, you would want to find out, one, up to how many weeks can you take? By law, you can take up to 2 weeks in the UK, and if you're entitled for paternity pay, that will be that paternity paid 2 weeks for you. Once again, some companies are very generous, so they can add some additional time for you to take as well. So you might want to look into that, whether that is suitable for you. But paternity leave is really important because if you want to take it, legally it should be requested 15 weeks before the baby is born. Some companies are actually really cool. You can take it at any time, you can request it at any time. Some are a bit of a hard ass, so if you don't do it within the legal time, then you might miss out. So you might want to check into this. Also, does your company offer shared leave where you can split the 9-month to a year leave with your partner? Is that something you're looking to do? Have you thought about it? Have you read about it? Look into that as well, because shared leave is also a fantastic scheme that you can take. But you have to bear in mind that you will be sacrificing somewhere financially if you do shared leave. So who is earning more money? Who will get more money if they took shared leave? That is a conversation you might want to have if you are one who lives with your partner. But yeah, your leave is really important. Other companies also offer something called a parental leave. That is something additional that you can take. The company that I work for offer that, but I'm more looking towards the paternity leave from my point of view. So I personally think I'm going to take 3 weeks, and I'm privileged to be able to do that because some companies don't offer that at all. Number 4, yeah, that's the correct form. Number 4 has to do with getting involved. And by that, what I mean is, for those of you who live with your partners, which I do, you get to see the physical changes, right? You get to see the struggles that can't get down to the stairs, can't get up the stairs, can't even roll around the bed properly, all these little things. And you want to make sure you are there to support as much as possible. Because as much as possible, if you can do that, then there is a bit more relief around. So as if not struggling to do everything all the time. So if you don't know how to cook, get cooking. Learn a few recipes. There's a whole lot out there that you can do. Or just eat or Deliveroo. But sort of ease the pressure as much as you can. You don't clean, start cleaning. Clean every now and then. Make sure you're involved in what is going on. Go to the baby events in the store. Get to understand what is going on, do the research together, look into the essential list. Do you actually need something? Do you not need something? Make sure you're getting yourself knowledgeable on what is about to happen as well. And also there's a whole lot of cleaning services out there as well, which I didn't know about. But yeah, look into that. Make sure you are supporting as much as possible around the apartment, around the house, chipping in with the research of what is going on. Do your own research, have those conversations so that your partner can see you are in this together. And I think that is really appreciated, and it goes a long way. Okay, that brings us to number 5. Number 5 is about classes. And the classes here, I mean antenatal classes and first aid classes. I'll be honest, I didn't actually think of first aid at all till we recently went to a baby event where a lovely lady came through to talk about first aid, and quite literally blew our mind. And since then I've absolutely added it to my list. Now, the service that I saw and the lady I spoke to was from an organization called minifirstaid.co.uk. I'm not sure if they are across the UK, but it's certainly worth a shot. First aid is definitely one I want to make sure I'm up to speed on and know what behaviors mean. What am I supposed to do? When are you supposed to call emergency services? All that. So you want to know that. Especially in these times where we have the coronavirus going on, you want to make sure you are equipped with the knowledge to do something with our NHS under so much stress. So that's important. Antenatal classes are also very important. If you've been around, this whole process before, if you've been around kids and everything, it's different seeing it from behind the scenes and actually being in it. And I think that is what antenatal classes will do for you, to open your eyes to the fact that, oh my goodness, there's a lot of things that goes into this becoming a parent, and once you become the parent, there's all of this stuff to it as well. So personally, I'm really looking forward to learning from antenatal classes. I think doing it together as well is really important, because then you are both in sync, you both have that knowledge, and you can really support each other with what is about to happen. So definitely look into antenatal classes. Some of them are free. If you're around neighborhoods that have some free ones, take advantage of that, and of course there's some saving of money. Of course, some of them you need to pay for. With the coronavirus going on right now, of course you need to social distance, so a lot of the classes are now online, and you should be able to sign up for those. I know the NCT are offering classes online. I believe there's another service I saw called invaluable.co.uk. Once again, anything I remember, I will add the links to the description for you as well. But that really is number 5, and that is classes. That'd be your first aid classes, that'll be your antenatal class as well. So in a nutshell, that's really the 5 things I have been doing / done to prepare myself to be a new dad. And to recap, the 5 things were research, so talking to people who have been through it, doing your research on what is about to happen, your essential list, preparing your pets and everything that you need around that as well. We had money, and money was broken down into 3 things. So we had paternity pay, we had the budgeting and buying things in staggered stages, and we also had the future aspect that was covering your will, your life insurance, and child trust funds, for those of you who want to look into that. And number 3, I believe we also spoke about classes and getting yourself in there as well. We spoke about paternity leave, making sure you looked at, are you entitled to it? Make sure you are in the know how many weeks before you can also ask for your paternity leave. The most important one in there was getting involved, making sure you are doing this as a team, making sure you are contributing, doing your part, cleaning the house every now and then, cooking the meal, just ordering just to eat. But those are the 5 things that I'm doing so far. Like I said, I'm new to this, so if you've done this before, what did you do? If you are in the same position as I am, who's an expecting first time dad, what are you doing? So let's collaborate and let's get on this journey together, and let's figure this dad thing out. That's it from me. Stay safe. Peace. and those were, I forgot. So those were your, shit. Should go again. Okay, right. So we've also spoken about, no, forget about that. Ooh, and that's a first time video.